everyone! Well, we're here, we're back, and today we're doing another anti-MLM video, and for this video we will be talking about Plexus. For this video, it is all about recruiting and following up with people who you want to be in your downline and how to properly go about talking to said people. So, aka learning how to be authentically you, which kind of seems silly to say, is like they're teaching people how to be authentic. I don't know, it seems kind of messy, but this is an MLM, so they're usually always messy. These kind of videos usually just talk about how to properly send messages to people who you are interested in working with, aka having them pay a starter kit cost and stay in your downline so that you can hopefully rank up and make more money. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you really like it, please subscribe. Make sure to check out my description below for all my fun links. I have links to my Patreon, my channel members, which are just different ways to help support the channel. I have links to my social media accounts where I don't post too often, but I do on occasion. And I have a I have an email that you can send content to, that if you ever find it while scrolling social media and you think it is interesting and you would like to see me react to it, you can send it over there. And with all of that said, let's get started.
Our mission, I want you to hear loud and clear what your job description is. Your job description is not to get joins. Your job description is not to make your points go up. Your job description as a brand ambassador with Plexus Worldwide is to love and serve others well. And the degree to which you do that is the degree to which your business will grow.
Isn't your job to sell products? That's what I thought it was supposed to be.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit. What we're going to be talking is about how do we build rapport and really connect with people, because people do not want to be sold to. They want to be cared about. They want solutions, and they want to know how you are going to help them. And I have kind of taken a lot from a lot of successful jewels like April and Brittany and Christina. And I've come up with a system that has been incredibly successful for my own personal recruiting. And that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. Okay. And it starts with adding people to your, adding people to your funnel. Every day you should be adding people to your Facebook friends list or your Instagram list, or just the people that you're getting together with in everyday life, having coffee with them, building rapport, making new relationships. So every day I add people to my funnel. Every day I add Facebook friends. I see people whose birthdays are today, people that are watching my stories, and I add them to my contact list. I personally use Doe. I know some people,
just a fancy way to say name in a notebook. You're just added to a list. So when these random people and MLMs reach out to you and look like they genuinely care, or that it's special that you have a birthday and, oh, thank you for remembering, you're just a name in their notebook of people they hope they can convince to join the MLM with them. So it's not very special when there is something attached to it, when there is something they can maybe gain from being nice to you.
People use Teamsy or another way to track. I use Doe because it is app-based and it is pretty. And I'm not going to lie, I need things that are pretty to keep me engaged. Okay, what I have done is I have created phases for my recruiting. And my first phase, I've got 3 phases in my recruiting method. Okay. And phase 1 is rapport building. When I add a new Facebook friend, I've gotten a new friend, I met somebody at Target or on the playground, I don't immediately come out and talk to them about Plexus. Now hear me.
No, because that would actually be genuine and authentic to tell someone that you are in this MLM business, because at least it gives them a heads up of why you're speaking to them to begin with.
That's not wrong. Okay. You could pull 10 different diamonds, and each diamond is going to tell you a different thing. Christina is very direct. I was just at Ruby's on the Rise. Genevieve says she's very direct. Brittany builds rapport and looks for a need and then brings up Plexus. This is what I have settled on. And I have settled on building rapport and connecting with people and then taking a direct approach. So phase one is all about building rapport and connection. The very first thing that I do once I get a new Facebook friend is I engage. Okay. On day one, I'm liking and commenting on their posts. Day 3, I'm doing the same thing. On day 8, I'm sending a rapport message. Don't worry, I'm going to give it to you shortly. And not until day 13 am I bringing up Plexus. And hopefully I've established and brought a conversation out where it's going to seamlessly enter the conversation. And then on day 14, actually I should say day 15, I will follow up with them if they haven't responded. Okay, so what does this look like? What did my engagement looks like? On day 1, I'm liking and commenting on their feed and in their stories. And then I'm going to wait a couple days and do the same thing. We're not getting in and doing it every day on every post. We're not creeper stalkers, but we are showing people that
you're not creeper stalkers, no. But when you have phase 1, do this on day 1, like you have this like agenda of what you're supposed to do, and you're supposed to hit these certain things and comment and like on these specific days or at this specific time, like that's still weird. Like just because you're not talking to them every single day and commenting on every single post, like it's still a little weird to go about this in like a formula way, like of how you engage with people. Like this is not a natural way to get to know somebody, to engage with their profile. Like, okay, I will talk to them on day 1 and I will say this, and then I'll wait 2 days and then I'll say this. It's like when you go on a date and it's like the 3-day rule or something before you're allowed to talk to them or call them. I don't think that's really a thing anymore. It's like something older, but it's sort of like that. It's like you're following like this like unspoken rule that everybody knows about, only in MLMs though. But it's like, it's still something weird. It's still strange that you're following a formula of how to be a normal acting person.
interested in them. Because listen, I am not just looking for what these people can do for me. I'm actually looking for friends. I'm looking to build relationships. And if they join me, great. Worst case scenario, I have a new friend, but I am looking for points of connection and looking for ways that I can, add value and build people up. Whoops, wrong way. Okay. So once I get to day 8, I've engaged on day 1 and on day 3, and I'm now at my rapport building message. And this is a sample that I like to use. And again, every time these people pop up on my dough, I'm liking and commenting on 1 or 2.
Also, the fact that she has an app to keep track of all the people that she's having conversations with, all of the things where it like pops up and says, today you need to go like this person's post, today you need to send that copy and paste generic overly bubbly happy message. Like that's not real and authentic. That's not making a genuine authentic friend when you have them in an app reminding you to go talk to them.
Or 3 of their posts. And I'm not just saying so cute, love it, girl. I'm actually putting in a thoughtful comment and hopefully leaving a question as well to evoke conversation. Okay. Hey, Amy, happy Monday. This is my rapport building message. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I love connecting with like-minded women through social media. I'm a mom of 3 girls, 15, 14, and 6, and my husband and I have been married 18 years and live in Savannah. How long have you guys been married? I saw the pictures from the swim meet. How long have your kids been swimming? Always in my rapport building message, I'm going to go back to their wall, find something that I can comment on.
I feel like I've told the story, of course, of the Beachbody woman who reached out to me and, talked to me about Beachbody and whatnot. And she did follow a very similar play-by-play to this where it's like she would like my stuff or comment, but I don't ever, even back then when this happened, like I don't really ever post on social media. I'm just not one of those people that like I need to post pictures all the time. Like I just been more of a live in the moment kind of person. I honestly forget to take pictures. So I know she didn't have much to comment on back in the day, probably besides like a few photos from like my high school days, which that's weird to be like going back that far and commenting on stuff. So my guess is that's what she did. So it's definitely harder for people, I think, to do this sort of routine with people who don't really use social media that often. But of course, I guess going back and commenting something like this on someone's high school graduation photo, yeah, that's totally normal. That's what we all want.
And leave a question to hopefully evoke a response from them. And then I just ended. I'm looking forward to following you and your crew here on Facebook. So they've never reached out to me before. This is how I start a conversation. They've seen me commenting on their posts a couple times already. Okay, so rapport building, hopefully they've answered me and I've gotten a conversation going, okay? And if so, we just keep the conversation going and then I can bring Plexus up. This message is if Plexus has not come up or they have not answered me, okay? Again, like and comment on their profile before messaging. Hey, Jessica, happy Sunday. Hope you and your crew are having a great weekend so far. Again, comment on something from their profile.
It's just this whole thing of them telling you, like, make sure to ask them questions. Look at their profile and see what they're doing. Be authentically you and be happy. You have the answer to their problems. It's like you just assume that every single person apparently has a problem and you are the miracle worker who can fix it. Super authentic and real. It's like these sort of messages, of course, have become so stereotypical, like pyramid scheme me association. Like people are like, okay, what are you trying to sell me? What scam are you trying to get me to join? Like people see through this stuff and people know, not everybody of course, but either way, like if someone does genuinely think like, wow, this person's really nice, they're very sweet, they're engaging with me, they may just truly be looking for a friend, like just an online friend, a real connection, just someone to talk to. And then after 2 weeks of them seeming maybe normal and nice, then boom, they hit you with the MLM pitch.
And ask a question. I saw that you guys were at the beach. How was it? Do you go to the beach a lot? Whatever it is. And then comment on something about me. We had friends from out of town and had the best time. Have you guys traveled at all this summer? Maybe you've seen some of my journey or pink drink posts on my wall or in my stories. Plexus has really changed everything for me and my family. I don't struggle with allergies, high cholesterol, digestive, or sleep issues anymore. I've lost stubborn weight, and at 50, I feel and look better than I did in my 30s. Maybe it may or may not be for you, but are you open to taking a look? Maybe it could be a blessing to you too. I'm so glad we've connected, and I look forward to continuing to follow you. Okay, so that is my my intro to Plexus. Okay, this should say day 15, a couple days later. So a couple days later, if they have not answered, I will send a follow-up message.
Maybe take it as a hint that they are not interested, because if somebody wants to engage with you and talk to you about that, then they probably will. And they do this a lot where they just follow up with people so many times, and it's for reasons like this. They're told follow up day 1, day 3, day 5, day 8, day 12, day 14, day 30. It's like that becomes very overwhelming, and it's like this is just for one person that they're talking to. They're probably talking to easily 25 to 30 people a week, and that's new people that they're doing this with a week, and that's not even the other conversations that they may or may not be having with people that they were talking to the previous week. And I guess that's where the app comes in to remind you of who you need to talk to and what conversations you're having. But again, where is the authenticness when you are doing this copy and paste, sugar-coated woohoo wonder with every single person? Like, unless I guess that is just you genuinely. but I don't think you're naturally doing that on Facebook every single day, just truly looking for friendship that way. Like, you're just not.
Again, like and comment on their profile or in their stories before messaging. Hey, Amy, happy Wednesday. How's your day so far? Again, comment on something from their profile. I love the pictures you posted of your kids in camp this week. My kids have had a very full summer as well. Camps, volleyball, jobs, VBS, and we're headed to the beach in a week for a last hurrah. Look, I know life is crazy busy. I'm a girl mom of 3 over here. So I wanted to pop back in and see if you had a chance to check out my last message. I'd love to answer any questions you may have. Plus, we have a great new reset system that's fantastic. Have you seen any of the pictures? Listen, most people are not waiting for you to send a message about Plexus. We think about Plexus a lot, but people are busy and there's so much noise that we are competing with. Following up is just the norm. And take the emotion out and just realize that this is what you signed up for when you joined a network marketing company. And this is just what we do. And people will thank you for being persistent and professional.
I don't know about that. I view it as like annoying, and I guess it can come off as like, hey, I'm just following up. I know life is busy, which again is what the Beachbody lady did to me. She said it a lot, like, I know life is busy, like, blah, blah, blah. I'm busy with this, this, and this. So I totally get not answering messages because, like, I just wouldn't answer her. And eventually I would answer her here and there, I think because I felt bad. And also I didn't know what I know now. I didn't know fully what she was doing then like I do now. But it is interesting to, see it from the other side, to have been somebody who experienced somebody sending these very nice, sweet messages, and then seeing it from the other side now and being like, oh, they're just taught to do that. That wasn't something she naturally wanted to do. That is something she was taught to do and told to do. Okay. And a lot of you will make the comment that people who join the business and then they are taught to send these messages, like, do they ever stop and think like, hey, that's the sort of thing that got me to join? And like, does it ever like run through their head like, oh, I thought that person was just being genuine and was just there to help me because they claimed that they just want to help me and they're just here to fix a problem that I had. But come to find out, they're just all taught to do that exact same thing. So that is interesting to think about.
Okay, so that is my phase 1, where I am adding new people to my funnel. I'm connecting with them, engaging on their posts. It's about a 2-week process, and then bringing up Plexus. Okay, now after phase 1 is complete, this is where it takes a little bit of thinking, okay? I determine who is cold, warm, or hot. And this will determine how soon I will follow up with them and how. This is customizable. It can take some discernment because remember, these are people we're dealing with. This isn't just a system. These are living, breathing people that have lives, okay?
I do appreciate her for saying that because I do think a lot of times, like, when they're told to just send messages, just keep talking to more and more people, it's like, there are real human beings on the other side of that screen that you're talking to. And also the person who is sending those messages is a real human being and is allowed to do things their way and is allowed to take breaks and not think about this 24/7 and not be on their phone 24/7. Like, it's healthy to step back and not be doing this business every second of every day and talking to people on social media every second of every day. Like, it's healthy to take a step back and remember that we are all people. We have our lives, we're living, and we're not robots, and we exist. And I think a lot of people and MLMs forget that about other people and also lose that within themselves.
Okay, so let's define what I mean by a cold prospect. A cold prospect is just somebody that's not engaged with me at all. Okay, they haven't responded, they're cold. Okay. A warm prospect is somebody who is engaged with me, watched my Facebook or stories, commented on some of my posts, or responded back in my messenger thread. Okay. They are warm. They have engaged with me somehow. So little note, please, please, please make sure that you're tracking who's watching your stories. You can look by, you can go up and look who's watching your stories and write those names down. Okay. And if, just a side note, when somebody hasn't responded to me for 2 months, I bump them to cold. That's just a sidebar. But warm means that they're actively engaging with me. Okay. Okay, and a hot prospect, I've got two different areas of hot prospects. One is a dream teamer, people that I really want to work with, that is, leadership capacity. If this person decided to do this, that they would be a diamond, high potential, would love to be on the beaches with in Hawaii every year for the rest of my life. Or somebody who has talked about purchasing, they want the products and they've either ghosted you or, they've gotten really close and they're just kind of somewhere in that funnel between, yes, I want these products, but they haven't made the decision to purchasing yet. Okay. That's a hot prospect. Okay. So my phase 2, and I guess I should say this, in Doe, you can have different, what they call series. And I have a phase 1 series in Doe, and I have it like day 1, day 3, day 5, day 8, day 12, day 15, where it shows me which message to give. And then I have another series, phase 2. Okay. And so this is phase 2. And in Doe, you can literally plug people into a certain phase, and then it will give you the messages and the order of how to reach out to these people. Okay, now this is key. When I am following up with people, not every message is about Plexus. I was going back, and listen, I have not always done this correctly. And I go back and sometimes see when I was first starting out, and I just see so many Plexus messages. The golden rule is treat others the way you want to be treated, right? You don't want people to be talking to you about their company every single time. You want the human touch, right? So what has worked for me is a 2-to-1 ratio.
I understand that concept, and I guess in an MLM, they want, make it personal, don't make it all about the business because you'll probably scare people away. But it's like if you are running your own business, like if somebody were to reach out to you about a product that they are wanting to buy or they have bought or something, and instead of answering their question about the product, you stopped and asked them how their day was, you told them about how your weekend was, like that would be a little strange if you just wanted to know about the product. It's like, I understand, wanting to know people on the other side of small businesses. I totally get that. But it's like you're trying to be professional and you're going to talk about the business with people. You're not going to intermingle and stop and be like, oh, let's talk about our weekend. Like, let's talk about our dogs. Like, be like, no, let's talk about the products and the business because that's what we're all here for. That's what this is about. I'm running a business. We're going to talk about business. Like, I've sold things on Poshmark and I've had people like the shirt, we'll just say shirt, or ask a question like, hey, what is the size of this? I couldn't imagine commenting back and being like, hey, how was your weekend? I did this today, and then I hope you did this, and then you don't answer their question until the next message because you're like, I'm just trying to be personal and connect with you. Like, you can be nice and say, hey, hope you had a great weekend. Here are the measurements. Let me know if you have any other questions. That's totally fine. When you start to add in fluff that is completely unnecessary because you're trying to distract a little bit from what the business really is, which is the recruiting aspect, not the product aspect. And maybe that's where it is different because they're trying to sell the business aspect of Plexus to people and not the products to people, so you do have to throw in personal stuff to it because you have to let them really like you as a person and want to work with you and blah blah blah. It all sounds absolutely exhausting.
2 messages to every one personal message. I'm also, every time they pop up in my Doe, I'm commenting and liking on their profile, and I'm adding comments on their posts every time I send a follow-up message.
The fact that and I've seen this in a couple videos like this when they want to abbreviate follow-up and it just, in every FU message. That's pretty accurate.
Even better yet, a day before and after, if I can remember that, okay? So phase 2 timing. If somebody is cold, and I've got a phase 2 cold, a phase 2 warm, and a phase 2 hot, they're on a 30-day cycle. Christina did a fabulous training about how to follow up with people. And I think it was the hobbyist, how to go from a hobbyist to a business owner, where she lays out 10 different ways to follow up with people. And I have people, if they're cold, on a 30-day follow-up. So I've gone through phase 1, they haven't said anything to me. So I will, during phase 2, again, every 30 days, I'll touch them. A Plexus message.
You'll what them? Excuse me?
First 30 days, a Plexus message. The second 30 days, a personal message where I'm adding value or just engaging, and then a couple Plexus messages. Okay. My warm market, I'm touching them twice a month.
Don't do that. Why is she wording it like that? You're following up with them. You're touching base with them. Don't do that twice a month. Oh no.
Because they are engaging with me. And it is very important. It's not always about Plexus. And I'm going to show you some sample.
Oh, no, it is always about Plexus. It's the fact that they tell you to make it about other things, but it's always, even if you are talking about other things, it's because you're taught to do that within the business structure of what you're supposed to do. So it is always about Plexus.
Messages in a second. Okay. And in a hot, I'm touching my hots weekly. Now,
that's even worse. It just went from bad to really bad to just the worst. You're touching them weekly? Oh my God. No wonder these people don't want to engage with you. No wonder they're scared. Oh, I found that way too funny.
Notice, that doesn't mean I'm showing up in their inbox weekly. When I say touching them weekly, that means that maybe one of my touches is commenting on their posts or commenting on their stories. I want them to know that I am invested in them, I believe in them, and I'm building rapport.
You are way too close to these people. You are really trying to get really... I was gonna say something real bad. I was gonna say, you're trying to get real far in there. That's so bad.
With them during phase 2. Okay. So here's a sample follow-up message. Like and comment. Hey, Amy, happy Wednesday. How's your week going? My oldest is working at a camp this week. My middle, I just tell her what's going on with me. I make a comment and with a question. When does school start for you guys? I'm wondering if you've heard about our new reset system.
That whole first beginning thing, and she even said, like, just say something about me. Like, exactly. You're just saying it just to say it. Like, you're not even going to fully really expect a nice answer. Like, you are expecting a nice answer, of course, but, like, you don't really care about the answer to that first half of the question. You are way more interested in the second half of the question, where you ask them about Plexus and if they want to know anything about it.
It's an amazing health and metabolic reset. The average weight loss is 6 pounds and the health benefits are incredible. I lost 5 pounds and loved it. What do you think? Are you open to taking a look? Again, you can vary these follow-up message. You can invite them to an online event. You can ask them to check out a video. Again, watch Christina's follow-up video for examples on how to follow up different ways about Plexus. This is an example of a value-adding message. What you want is to gain influence with people, right? And the quickest way to gain influence is to add value to people. When I am showing up in their inbox, I'm not always looking to get something from them. I want to deposit into them.
Stop it! You want to what into them? I thought what I said was bad. You want to deposit into them. You want to touch them and then deposit into them. We sure we're talking about an MLM here? What is happening?
to give them something, right? I mean, granted, we are offering life-changing products and opportunity, which is a huge gift,
but you're just trying to deposit into people. Apparently, you're just trying to deposit the love and the opportunity into people. No, you're not. You're trying to offer them an MLM opportunity, which is a one in everybody next door like opportunity. Like they're everywhere. They are everywhere. It's not a 1 in a million opportunity. It's a one in you probably could throw a rock and hit somebody who has been in an MLM or is in an MLM. Like it's not that unique and rare. And especially on social media. You can find somebody wanting you to join underneath them very, very easily.
also want them to know that I'm adding value to their life. This is just an example of something that I did to a bunch of warm and hots last month. Hey, Caroline, happy Thursday. Hope you're having a great week. Are you guys doing anything special this weekend? I've been doing a lot of thinking since I'm turning 50. I guess there's something about turning half a century that's caused me to reflect. I want to grow, be intentional, to lift people up, to help others be and do. That's why I do what I do. It's hard to be your best when you don't feel well or don't have the resources to do what's in your heart. I heard about this book from Jamie Kern Lima. Well, I listened to her interview with Ed Milet, and it so spoke to my soul that I wanted to share it with you. It's long, but so worth it. Much love to you, and I hope it blesses you as much as it did me. And then I sent them the link to the podcast. Every Mother's Day, I will send like a Mother's Day message. If I hear a podcast, I'll send a podcast or something just to tell people I'm thinking about them and to hopefully add value to them. Here's an example of a personal message. Hey, Caroline, happy Monday. How was your weekend? My best friend from Richmond and her kids were in town and we had the best time. We showed them Savannah, played tons of games, laughed, and even cried. How has your summer been? When did you guys start?
Every single one of these messages, ow, has been the same. Like, we know what sending a personal message is. Like, maybe people don't, and I guess the whole idea is to just copy the message, change it up a little bit, and make it sound a little bit more like you. And then there you go. You have basically a nice little rubric to go off of because you're not quite sure what you should say because they say they have the systems in place. So if you just copy exactly what other people did, then you too can also be successful. But that's not true, is it? Because then your income disclosure statement would reflect that. It absolutely would. And it has nothing to do with the fact, oh, people just don't work hard enough. They just don't try. People are working hard enough. People are currently working hard enough who are in your downline, who you are promising can make this work, and it won't work for them because the system, the MLM system, is not meant for everybody to be successful. Only a select few at the very top. Also, a select few who have multiple people in their downline, aka the ones at the top.
School. Did you do any traveling? Just to get conversation going. Again, personal connection. Okay, so that's phase 2, right? Now, phase 3. What is phase 3? Phase 3 is until they join me or they die.
Somehow, she has shocked me not once, not twice, but 3 different times. Did she just say until they join me or they die? Like, those are the only 2 options? Is that you will continuously talk to them until they join you or they die? I mean, is that also known as blocking you? Just weird.
We always keep in mind, I'm always doing the 2-to-1 ratio, 2 Plexus posts to 1 personal post. So let's talk about phase 3 timing.
I'm exhausted. This is so much to keep track of and to do, and it's like, this is just for one, well, we'll just say 3 different people, like one person's a cold person, one's a warm person, one's a hot person, and we're not depositing anything into them, don't worry. We're just following up with 3 different people in like this way with these messages. I'm overwhelmed. Like, this is just very overwhelming, and they claim, like, we're just a loving on people company. We're just meant to love on people and touch people's hearts, and it's like, by just constantly nagging at them and bothering them all day on social media, And every other day and every month? No, thank you. I'm tired.
If someone still has not engaged with me, they're on a 3-month follow-up. So my phase 3 cold series is every 3 months, I will touch base with them. Okay. Phase 3 for warm is every 2 months. And I will also remember to engage and comment on their posts. And for my hot people, it's a monthly follow-up. Okay. And I'm engaging on posts weekly. At least that is my goal, or stories, sometimes just clicking through stories, but they at least see that I'm engaging with them. And I've got a story. I've got a dream teamer in Colorado, and I engage so much on her posts. She always is at the top of my list. And she's just this beautiful, amazing woman. And I feel like I'm learning so much about parenting from her. And I told her that. And then she said, she texted me back, and she's never texted me back anything like this. She said, "You are so beautiful too. I'm learning so much from you." And I don't say that to say I'm so great, but I'm saying consistently.
I mean, she could have just been being nice. Like, you said something nice to her, so she responded back with something nice. I think that's pretty normal and doesn't scream weird or story worthy to me, but maybe that's just me.
Engaging on people's posts and giving them genuine comments and encouragement is fruitful. And not only that, but you are sowing into people, and God will bless you for that. Okay, phase 3, follow-up message example. Again, liking and commenting. This is very similar to phase 2. You're connecting.
All of these seem very, very similar to each other. So I don't quite know what was the difference between phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3, besides maybe phase 2 had bringing up Plexus finally. Maybe that was the only difference, but it seems to me that phase 2 and phase 3 are the same.
Connecting, asking them a question. I remember ages ago, I reached out about Plexus.
I guess you just skipped the personal message. Like, they don't matter. It says this to just make them not think that I'm trying to sell them something or recruit them into a pyramid scheme. It's just, something to distract them.
Maybe the timing is better now. It may or may not be the right fit for you, but I'm curious if you struggle with any of these. I used to deal with over 15 of them before Plexus. If so, are you open to checking it out? And then I send this graphic.
A graphic that says, do you deal with any of this, from metabolic, digestive systems, mental, emotional systems, whole body systems? So you're not claiming any medical stuff, of course, but by sending this and saying, do you suffer with any of these? My guess is you're going to say, well, you're in luck because I can help you. I have a product that can help you, or I work for a company that has products that could help you with any of these things. And I'll just pick one from each category. If you have dairy cravings, Plexus has got you. If you have high anxiety or ADD, Plexus can help you, which is weird because I feel like that's almost a medical claim, but well, I don't know anything. And also, if you have chronic fatigue, also could be a medical condition that you're claiming Plexus could help. Oh, chronic joint pain, also something that would be a medical claim because you're saying that Plexus could help you with this. And dandruff, that's random. That's really random. Okay.
Symptoms of candida overgrowth. And listen, I don't think I've ever had anybody say, no, I don't struggle with any of these. Some people ignore me, but at least we're planting the seed, because this helps to get them to re-engage, ask me questions, and then it makes it very clear that I'm really trying to help them, and we can re-engage and revisit Plexus. Okay. So just to recap, I want to say we are in a people helping people business. That means that it's not just plugging people into the system, it's connecting with them. There's a reason why most of the diamonds in our company are yellow. It's because their desire is to help people. And those that are great connectors have great legacy. And remember that timing is everything. This isn't about your timing, it's about their timing. When what we have is a solution to what they need on their timing. And we want to make them the hero of their story by continuing to show how what we have is the answer to what their needs are. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I hope this makes sense to all of you. I hope you take the time to really discern who it is you're reaching out to and where they flow in, where they can fit in a series. Because the last thing you want to do, I've been there where someone has asked me about the products, they want to sign up, and then I forget about them. And it's 3 months later when I'm finally reaching out. Take the time to establish your system, to build rapport, be interested in people, and I can guarantee your business will grow. And that is how you recruit and follow up personally with connection. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, Plexus lady. So at the end there, she just said, oh, I've had people ask me about the product. I didn't follow up for 3 months. Maybe I'm misunderstanding, but I guarantee that if somebody had reached out to you about wanting to join the business side of things, you would have jumped on that in 2 seconds and been all over them and loving on them and depositing into them. That's a new love on for sure. Like, instead of loving on people, you're depositing into them. So that's like a step above loving on them. I just can't believe she said that. Like, what an interesting phrase to use when referring to sending MLM messages to people. And another thing I want to comment on is what she said here at the end, or at least what it says at the bottom. It says, remember, make them the hero of their story. So before you join the MLM, you are so special. Everything is about you. Everything is just wanting to change your life, make your life better. This is the answer. I have the answer with the best products, and your life is going to change. Then you get into the business, and now nothing is about you anymore. Just do the products, hopefully your life changes, great. But now you have to put all of your energy that somebody gave you that made you feel special before you joined. Give all that energy to other people. Spend countless hours just giving out positive energy and whatever you're supposed to do, the follow-up messages, keeping up with all of that, because that doesn't sound absolutely mind-boggling and confusing and overwhelming whatsoever. Like, in the grand scheme of things, I guess the way she laid it out was very nice, but the more I started to hear and the more slides that she put on the screen and talked about what you're supposed to say and how you're supposed to do this and how many days and weeks and months, like, if I was sent this call or I needed to be a part of this call for, Zoom meeting 100 this week, I would be so overwhelmed. Like, that is the thing about joining the MLM, is that I know I would be overwhelmed with the amount of things that I'm supposed to do, the amount of Zoom meetings I'm supposed to attend, the amount of people I'm supposed to keep up with, the amount of product I'm supposed to buy, the amount of people I need underneath me in order to hit certain ranks. Like, it's all extremely overwhelming, and they will say, well, it's easy, and, it's fun, we're just having fun, we're just making best friends and connections, and blah, 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 and it's like, I'm overwhelmed with the amount of people that you want me to keep up with. I'm supposed to have nothing but positive energy towards this thing 24/7. I'm never allowed to feel down or conflicted, because that's just negative beliefs, and I'm a negative person if I believe that. It's just a lot, and I think for a lot of people, it's completely understandable when they want to leave because they're overwhelmed. It's not because they don't care. It's not because they're a failure. It's because the systems are put in place to keep people exhausted and broke and keep them in the MLM under the pretense that this will change their life. And that is just absolutely wrong. But we all know that. Alright, you guys, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you really, really liked it, please subscribe. Let's talk anything and everything Plexus in the comments below. And until my next video, I will see you guys then. Bye!